This is the Wanborough at Wenbeorgan. I'm here to look for a stone called the Weleues Stan, which is part of the boundary between Liddington and Wanborough. Let's see if we can find it. Well, I failed already turning off following the boundary, and I can understand why they've done it, because it goes into a dip, the road, and obviously people want to keep their feet dry, so they headed up along the ridge, and this is what I'm... So again, coming out into the countryside and seeing, getting away from the map, getting away from our dusty books, the logic of their decision making becomes clear. But I failed in the first objective. There were other objectives. Now, of course, if I fail in all of mine, my objectives, I intend to do some wildflower photography, perhaps find a deer, you know, that sort of thing. So anybody who knows me and knows my videos, it adapts once I get... I had an argument with a friend of mine at the weekend about it, you know. Tom, you're never certain about your research. And that's because research has to go up against cold, hard reality. And that's what I believe is my role, is to come out here and see it for myself, test the data. And often there's nothing wrong with the data, just time passes, stones get moved, stones get broken up. They become gateposts for farmers, or just blown up and made into foundations for houses. I think I've got the location right, and now I'm moving on looking for, well, I know where it is. We have evidence from the map that where foray is, and it's down here. I've just passed the Wanborough, which you might be able to see there. It's a little bit too windy for the drone. I'm not happy for such little payback, such little returns to send it out, but risk it putting it up. So we're going on further. It was definitely worth coming out to look at the topology of the place, the topography. That I did wonder why the boundary went along here, and it is to keep to the top of the ridge. And either respecting prehistoric boundaries or using prehistoric things like landmarks like that Wanborough as boundary markers in the early medieval period. But the jury's definitely still out on that. But it is... Just had a chat with somebody about the landscape. It's quite lonely out here. It's pretty cold. It's not cold, it's windy, and that sort of saps your get up and go. But I wouldn't say it's cold, and the landscape, even though it's bleak, there are a lot of colours, lots of reds, umbers and greens and muted greens. It's still a pleasure to be out here to see. That back there, I've had to walk nearly a mile down here before presenting what I think, because the wind was so strong, it was so wet. It wasn't that wet. The wind was pretty strong. It was interfering in my ability to think, to coordinate my hands and all the rest of it, which quite frankly is pathetic, but now I've got round to it. That, where we turned left, where we went down the pathway south, and then we turned east. It's at that point that the charter says, this basically says turn at the rail. The other stones there, these are great big Saxon stones. And there is a red stone. And there's quite interesting. There's other references to a Stannictan lynch or something along those lines. From memory, in another charter. I'm wondering whether that's what we're looking at. You do move them out of fields, and you do move them to the side of the field, and sometimes us ridiculous antiquarians start to make stuff up about these rows of stones. But the charter says at that point, and we can confirm it because we're on the shot chair way here now, and it leads on up to Weleues Stan, so it's in the right position. So that red stone there, I can't prove 100% that it's, it could have been moved there by a farmer a couple of weeks ago to keep hippies out of his field, but it is where it's supposed to be according to a 1,000-year-old charter. Now, what else can we say about those stones arranged along that ridge there? I can't tell you, but I was interested in them. They certainly appeared significant. There are no stones anywhere else so far on this walk, which should tell us something, that they've been placed there significantly. What that significance is, I don't know. I said earlier on, I was chatting to a local, and he did mention, oh yeah, there were some stones down there, you know, who knows whether they were circle or not. They were semicircular. There was a sector of a circle those stones formed. But anyway, it's so faint we can't make any judgment about them. But that one red stone, I can make a judgment. It is likely that is the Weleues Stan. So this is the trackways, and I know now with these old Saxon charters, they could have put any old rubbish in the charters, and it could be anywhere in the parish, even if except it is this parish. But we know it's here because this hill here is Sugar Hill. The trackways became sugar over 1,000 years. We don't know. Trackways didn't make it into modern English. It might have made it into modern English in the sense of shaker or shaking. This is the shaking road. But others much better qualified than me call it the robber's way. Because there's a shaker, means shakan, which means robbing, and so they've called this. They've made the leap from sheol to share, which is a different vowel sound. But you know, who am I to argue with academics? It is, of course, much more a romantic idea to think of such daring do on the, you know, in the landscape of England, and it's very, very tempting for me to join in. So I'm going to. This is the robber's way. This is a prehistoric flint scraper, and it is very pretty. I'm pleased to find that. It's practically flawless. You can see the sharpening around the edges. It's symmetrical. The typology of it is fine. I couldn't give you a date, but it's almost, well, it's definitely prehistoric.